No matter what, man, I go out there and I scrap. Like, I don't just lay around and try to wrestle you to death. It's not about being a tough guy. People like to play football. People like to play basketball. People just enjoy the game of baseball. They love just going out and swinging a golf club. I just like punch people in the fucking face.
Going into his hometown and fighting, it really doesn't affect me a whole lot. You know, the only thing I see in that cage is him. He's a strong wrestler. He likes to wrestle, takes people down, holds them down. I see myself dominating the fight, stand up, and you know, when he doesn't want to stand up anymore, he's going to try to take it down, and which I feel like that's going to be a big mistake for him. So I believe it's going to end in submission.
I'm definitely getting in there to fuck you up, but we're not there to be homies. Nothing personal. I mean, we both signed a contract. You come here to punch me in the face, I'm coming here to punch you in the face. We can be gentlemen about it before and after the fight, but you know, during the fight, we can get after it. Whatever happens, happens.
I'm more of a stand-up guy. I like to throw hands, but you know, if he wants to take it to the ground, I'm more than willing to let him know what's up on the ground. I got a pretty good ground game. It's going to be a great fight.
It is our co-main event. Deron Carlis taking on Garrett Wells. Our title, MMA, keys to victory, Garrett Wells. He has to stay long and use his reach. He needs to avoid the takedown and the wrestling. That's what it's going to take for Garrett Wells to walk away with this one. Deron Carlis, he has to get inside of the taller fighter. He needs to control that fight location to get this to the ground by using his wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our co-main event of the evening. Let's bring it out. Garrett Wells.
Coming to the cage by way of Eldon, Missouri, it is Garrett Wells. Now, Garrett Wells sports an 0-2 record in his professional career, but the thing is, he has fought some very tough individuals coming up. The likes of Mike Breeden and Dallas Jennings, both of those guys, two incredibly tough individuals. Now, he has spent some time out with UFC veteran Jake Collier to get ready for this fight. He told me that this first win literally means everything to him tonight.
Yeah, Wells is a tough character. He's not a typical 0-2 guy, man. This kid can fight, and he's going to show us that tonight.
Yeah, he had an insanely good amateur record before moving to the pros.
Let's bring out his opponent tonight, Deron Carlis.
Oh, it is time. Coming to the cage, it is Deron Carlis. He trains at American Top Team KC. Now, again, Deron is looking for a win. He came out of his professional career with 4 straight wins, then followed by 4 straight losses. He feels that he has to get on the winning track tonight. As we go to our supplement superstores, tail of the tape, Deron Carlis, 31 years old, 5'5", 157 pounds. Garrett Wells, 25 years old, 6'1", 154.6. As it shows, Deron Carlis did not make weight.
You know, what does that tell you? Is Carlis not training enough? Did he just not diet right? A lot of things to tell. We'll see in this fight.
The other glaring difference is the height advantage of Garrett Wells, but let's send this one up to the cage to Stephen Bear to kick off our co-main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our co-main event of the evening. Tonight, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall. He weighs in at 154.6 pounds. Give it up for Garrett Wells. His opponent tonight, fighting from across the cage out of the red corner this evening. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. He weighs in at 157 pounds. Please welcome Deron Carlis.
Army veteran Deron Carlis in the red tape, Garrett Wells in the blue. Coming to us by way of Cavallo BJJ, Garrett Wells very comfortable on his back if Carlis happens to put him there. Quick touch of the gloves, and here we go with our co-main event.
You know, a lot of times, Jeremy, when you have two opposing grapplers, you end up with a stand-up battle.
Big inside leg kick coming from Carlis. Inside leg kicks here so far from Carlis. A little bit of nervous energy coming out of Wells. He's looking for that shot coming from Carlis. A lot of distance measuring going on here.
Yeah, both guys being very cautious in this fight. Both guys are really wanting to win tonight, so neither guy is looking to make a silly mistake early.
Wells going up top with that kick.
That's the second time he's done that. I'd like to see Wells set that kick up with his hands first.
Carlis working, big slam coming. Carlis putting those hips in now. Right in front of us is Deron Carlis in that top position. Wells trying to stand up here. Push him in there, trying to move forward is Deron Carlis, pushing him down, keeping that head position there.
And what Carlis wants to do is put Wells flat on his back or up against the cage where he doesn't have any room to move.
Carlis pushing down on the head, looking for a big elbow.
Well, also, when he has the hand on the head, he can just slide that elbow down. Nice short slicing elbows are good there also.
Big shots are coming from Carlis. Carlis swarming.
Wells
Still a lot of time.
Wells needs to watch the guillotine himself.
Carlis trying to finish with a standing guillotine here right in front of us. Lets the position go.
Yeah, smart
Scooping
job.
in for the double.
That was smart by Carlis to let go of that guillotine and work for the takedown. But it was defended very well by Wells.
Throwing hands here is Carlis again, dropping down for the double right in front of us.
Yeah, Carlis is putting everything he's got into this fight in this first round.
Yeah, he is. He's almost banking on it here, so.
If Wells can make it into the second round, I'm curious to see the cardio of Carlis, who missed weight.
Because Wells looks to be in amazing shape. But now this is where being the shorter stature here of Deron Carlis works, because he can play that head position game.
Yeah, 100%. Carlis is being smart. He's putting his weight on Wells, making Wells carry all the weight.
Carlis steps away. Now, as the sweat pours and they start to get a little more slippery, how does that affect the game of Carlis?
It doesn't affect Carlis as much as it affects Wells. It makes it tougher for Wells to sink into submission.
Garrett Wells in the blue tape, Deron Carlis in the red.
I think Carlis is trying to wrestle a little bit. I think Wells needs to jump on him right now.
Yeah, he needs to move forward. Front kick to the body out of Wells. Wells seems very timid though, like waiting for the shot. But he's backing himself to the cage when he does it.
Big right hand out of Carlis. I think Wells is a little worried about that also.
There is some power in the hands of Deron Carlis. Ten seconds here in this first round of our co-main event of the evening. Jeremy Johnson along with my partner Kevin Angle. Big switch kick. Hands thrown at the end there out of Wells. Was it too little too late to take that round?
Absolutely. I think Carlis clearly won that round. I think it was smart of Wells to kind of open up at the end of the round there. Worst thing that happens is Carlis takes him down and time expires. So in a round that I think Wells was already behind and he knew it, it was very smart of him to try and throw the kitchen sink at Carlis that last 10 seconds.
So if you were in the corner there of Garrett Wells, as we go to our Mattingly Lumber instant replay, he spent considerable amount of time here. What are you telling him?
You got to be a little more aggressive. I know you're worried about the takedown, but you still have to be aggressive. You still have to throw your hands and feet to win this fight. You're not going to win it from your back and half guard. If you're on your back, you need to get the full guard where you can work for a submission, or you need to get up. But the wrestling of Carlis is making it real tough for Wells to get up or look for a submission.
Let's get these guys fired back up. Let's make some noise.
Second round in this three-round contest. Deron Carlis in the red tape, Garrett Wells in the blue. We'll see if Wells has found his range yet.
I'd like to see Carlis throw a couple more of those big right hands also. He's got a lot of power in that right hand, and he should have no fear of getting taken down by Wells.
Kick to the body coming from Wells. Wells trying to circle a bit here, but he's got his back pinned against the cage. Big overhand right there out of Carlis, who's just going to tell him, no, you are going back against the cage.
Yeah, Wells was looking to counter the shot of Carlis with an uppercut, and he just missed.
He's been trying to time that, but now he's got the position against the cage, against Deron Carlis here. Carlis trying to block in case that knee comes flying up to the head. Big knee to the head.
Yeah, the taller fighter in Wells can get that knee up pretty easily to the head of Carlis.
Again, knees coming here from Garrett Wells, who has the back of Deron Carlis. Starting now to work knees into the legs. Makes it hard for that shot, especially if it's your lead leg.
Nice knee to the back of the leg.
This is control that we have not yet seen out of Garrett Wells. Carlis shucks away, though.
What does Carlis have in the gas tank, though? He looks a little winded at this point.
Front kick to the body from Wells.
I'd like to see Carlis press forward behind his jab. There's a good jab out of Carlis.
Missing again with that overhand right.
Wells needs to let some punches go a little bit. Throw for speed rather than power.
Carlis takes a deep breath, though. Wells has got that right hand cocked and ready to fly.
Nice uppercut out of Wells. I don't think that landed on the chin of Carlis, but let him know that Wells is looking to throw when he enters in.
Blitzing in was Wells, but he was answered with a nice stiff jab. Big kick to the body from Wells. Starting to mix up the kicks now.
Jab by Carlis, just feinting at the shot. Not even looking like he wants to take the shot, just feinting, just letting know Wells it's there.
And you can see the worry on Wells' face from it. It's doing its job as a feint.
Good jab by Wells. I'd like to see more of that out of him. He's a taller fighter. He needs to use that jab.
The jab of Wells is starting to find a home. Going upstairs with a high kick.
Carlis sees that coming, though. He needs to hide that high kick behind his hands.
Punches to set up the kicks is what Wells is looking to do here, or what he needs to do.
I think Carlis is winded in this last minute of this round. Wells shoots for a takedown himself.
1 minute left.
Wells told me he might wrestle.
Wells trying to clasp the hands under the butt of Carlis.
Carlis spreads deep, though. Big takedown from Wells.
Right in the mount with 45 seconds left. Let's see what he can do.
This is not where Deron Carlis wants to be. What can Garrett Wells do with it? Big elbow coming. Hooks in, flattens him down, is Garrett Wells. This is not where Deron Carlis wants to be, and he gets the tap. Garrett Wells gets his first win inside the cage.
Excellent job by Garrett Wells, weathering the storm of Carlis.
Garrett Wells just walks over and says, don't sleep on him, and we definitely won't. As we look at our Mattingly Lumber instant replay here, flattens down Deron Carlis. Carlos gives up his back, both hooks in, gets sunk under the chin, flattens him out, and gets that tap.
As I was saying before, Wells came over and told us not to sleep on him. Wells weathered the early storm of Carlis. He was very calm, weathered the storm, saw his moment, and got the submission victory at the very end of the second round.
That has to feel good for Garrett Wells, so let's send it up to the cage to Stephen Bayer to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has ended. 4 minutes and 41 seconds of the second round. Your winner, due to tap out from a rear naked choke out of the blue corner this evening, Garrett Wells.
A huge win for Garrett Wells, finally adding that first professional victory. Kevin, you know that has to feel good.
100%. Wells had a very good amateur career, lost his first 2 pro fights against very tough opponents, and just won his first pro fight against another very tough opponent. He should be very proud of himself.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Coming up next, it is our main event of the evening as UFC veteran Vicious Bobby Volker takes on Strikeforce vet Justin Demone.